Good morning and welcome to the board's CIP work session on this day, November the 12th, 2020. Today, the board will hold its final work session to continue consideration of the superintendent's recommended FY 2022 capital budget and amendments to the FY 2021 through 2026 capital improvements program, along with Supplement A, the superintendent's recommendation on the boundary study for Somerset and Westbrook elementary schools. Prior to today, the board has held 2 work sessions and 2 public hearings on the CIP. During those meetings, board members have had the opportunity to recommend alternatives to the superintendent's recommendations, pose questions regarding the CIP, and hear from the community. If there are any other items and the board members wish to modify, I am suggesting that we identify those alternatives today. If board members wish to identify any alternatives today, they should do so through a motion. If there is a second, a vote will be taken, and we'll ask for a brief discussion of the alternative. It will require 5 votes to place the alternative before the public for comment, along with the superintendent's recommendation. If the alternative is adopted by the board, staff will notify the affected community so that they may testify on the superintendent's recommendation and on that alternative on Tuesday, November the 17th. Community members do not need to attend the hearing to make their views known to the board. Comments may be emailed to boe.testimony@mcps-md.org. Your testimony will be sent to all board members for their consideration. Please keep in mind that a vote to place an alternative before the board does not commit board members to support the alternative when final action is taken, nor does it preclude the board from making any change to the CIP when it takes final action. I should reiterate that a hearing will only be held on Tuesday, November the 17th, if additional alternatives are offered today. Otherwise, the board will take final action on these matters on Thursday, November the 19th, 2020 at 5:30 p.m. Dr. Smith, are there any comments that you'd like to make at this time?
Thank you, Ms. Evans. I think we are prepared to go forward today with this last work session and share information with the board and receive comments and questions from the board.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think so we will, as Dr. Smith said, we will begin to go through. Today, we will just very briefly touch on each of the major recommendations that we are bringing to you in the superintendent's recommendation. We'll pause after each one and just to see if there are any comments or questions that we need to address with board members today. Of course, as Mrs. Evans described, we may have the hearing as needed on Tuesday, and then we would be bringing final resolutions to you for final decisions next week. So with that, I think we can go ahead and bring up the slides, and I believe Ms. Karamihas is going to review the projects for us today.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm just going to first go through the presentation overview. We are going to be reviewing the superintendent's recommendation for Somerset and Westbrook Elementary Schools boundary study, which is Supplement A. We are going to review the superintendent's recommendation for the Bethesda, Somerset, and Westbrook Elementary Schools boundary study. We will review a revised action date for the Gaithersburg Elementary School boundary study. And finally, we will review the recommendations for the amended 2021 through 2026 Capital Improvements Program. Next slide, please. So Supplement A, which again is the superintendent's recommendation for Somerset and Westbrook Elementary Schools boundary study. Next, please. So the scope and the purpose of the boundary study was to alleviate overutilization at Somerset Elementary School by reassigning students to Westbrook Elementary School. And here are the enrollment projections that are included in the amended CIP. So as you can see, again, total space available at Somerset Elementary School in the last year of the CIP is about 31 students overutilized. And at Westbrook Elementary School, there is available capacity of approximately 270 seats, 266 seats. Next slide, please. This was the scope of the boundary study. You can see that in the peach color, that is the Westbrook service area, and in the green area, that is the Somerset Elementary School service area. Next slide, please. So the boundary study had 5 staff developed options. 3 were in the first round and 2 were in the second round. We did consider the guiding parameters of advancing the policy factors, as well as the options did grandfather grade 5 students at the elementary school level. Next slide. Our community outreach and engagement, we had community meetings at Westland Elementary School. All the meetings were at Westland. We had webcasts that was available. We sent out Connect Ed messages and flyers. We had 2 surveys. One was on the 3 options, the first round of options. We had 276 respondents provide input for that first survey. And the second survey, we had 267 respondents provide input. We also received written correspondence from communities. Next slide, please. Superintendent's recommendation, after careful review and consideration of the 5 options, stakeholder input that was received in the context of the policy factors. We did also look at the fiscal constraints, as it was important to evaluate possible opportunities that would take advantage of existing capacity for schools that may be overutilized in adjacent service areas. And based on the projected overutilization at Somerset Elementary School and the available capacity at Westbrook Elementary School, sufficient capacity would remain at Westbrook Elementary School even after the proposed reassignment. Therefore, no recommendation of the 5 staff developed options, and instead the recommendation is to conduct a new boundary study to include Bethesda, Somerset, and Westbrook Elementary Schools. Next slide, please. And any questions?
Okay, so I'll just ask for you to give me a thumbs up if you have a question or a comment you want to make, instead of me just going around asking every single person. Seeing no thumbs, I will let you continue. Thank you.
Thank you. So you can bring up the presentation again. Thank you. So the next item is the superintendent's recommendation for the Bethesda, Somerset, and Westbrook Elementary Schools boundary study. Next slide. So this is the map of the service area of those 3 schools. In the yellow is Westbrook Elementary School, in the green is Somerset Elementary School, and in the pink is Bethesda Elementary School. Next slide, please. Here, similar to the first numbers that I showed you, this includes Bethesda Elementary School. Again, it is the enrollment projections that are in our amended CIP. As you can see, for Bethesda Elementary School, the first block, total space available, they will be approximately 180 seats overutilized by the end of the 6-year period. Again, Somerset is at the same, at about 31 students overutilized at the end of the 6 years. And Westbrook, again, has about 266 seats available at the end of the 6-year period. If you add up the overutilization at both Bethesda and Somerset, you can see that it's about 212 students overutilized, and the available capacity at Westbrook Elementary School is 266 seats available. Next slide, please. So the recommendation is to conduct the boundary study for Bethesda, Somerset, and Westbrook in the spring of 2021, with the superintendent releasing his recommendation in October 2021, with Board of Education action in November 2021. The recommendation includes a 2-phased implementation. The first phase would reassign students by zone based upon the available capacity at Westbrook Elementary School in September 2022. That would be the current available capacity. The second phase would reassign the remaining students to coincide with the completion of the shell build-out, which is part of the CIP recommendations at Westbrook Elementary School. And that would be September 2023. I know the date isn't on there, but that would be September 2023. So the first phase would be a reassignment in September 2022, and the remaining would be September 2023. The 2-phase process would allow for some relief at Somerset and our Bethesda Elementary School by using the current available seats at Westbrook Elementary School. The adopted CIP does include planning funds in FY 2025 for a new Bethesda Chevy Chase Walter Johnson Elementary School to relieve those elementary schools that may be overutilized in both of those clusters. And should this boundary study not address all the overutilization at Bethesda Elementary School, relocatable classrooms or a prefab modular unit similar to the one that is located at Ashburn Elementary School could be utilized until that new elementary school is built. Next slide, please. And we are up to questions again.
Thank you, Ms. Karamihas, for the presentation. And I'm going to ask again, thumbs up for any board members that have any questions. Seeing none, I'm going to let you continue. Thank you.
Great. We could bring back up the slides. Thank you. So the next item we'll be reviewing is the superintendent's recommendation for the revised action date for Gaithersburg number 8 elementary school boundary study. Next slide. Oh, there we go. Okay. The board approved schedule for this boundary study was to conduct the boundary study in spring 2020, release the report in early January 2021, release the superintendent's recommendation at the end of January 2021. The Board of Education would hold work sessions and public hearings in February and March of 2021, and then the board would act in probably mid-March of 2021. Due to COVID-19, the boundary study process was paused in early March. Boundary study did resume in early October, and the last meeting is scheduled for December 2nd. The board approved schedule for the boundary study is approximately a year earlier than would be typically be conducted for a scheduled opening of a new school for September 2022. Next slide, please. The current health crisis has impacted our student enrollment and resulting in a one-year decrease of over 3,600 students. And we talked about this during the last board work session. The anomaly of this year's projections could impact the recommendation scheduled to be released this January. Therefore, the recommendation is to complete the boundary study process, again, in early mid-December, release the report in January 2021, and present that report to the Board of Education during the spring amendment work session in February. However, instead of releasing the superintendent's recommendation in January, release the recommendation in October of 2021 with board work sessions, public hearing, and action in November 2021. Therefore, this will allow for another year of enrollment projections to evaluate either changing trends in enrollment in the cluster or recognizing the one-year anomaly due to the pandemic. Next slide, please. And again, discussion.
Sure. I'm going to call on Mrs. Mondrosky, and then I'll go to Mrs. O'Neill.
Thank you for the presentation. I appreciate it. I just really want to reiterate, that we made a commitment to the community in Gaithersburg, and I want to make sure that we don't, that we proceed with the boundary study as early as possible. And that's all I have.
I just want to comment that I know that members of the Saybrook community particularly are going to be a little disappointed that we're not proceeding at the original pace. But I think that given the circumstances of the variability of our enrollment this year, it is prudent to analyze and take our time to make sure that we get it right, knowing that, this year, or I believe, is an anomaly. So, but no child would immediately be setting foot into the new elementary school. And it is a very large boundary study. So involving, I guess with the new elementary schools and both middle schools. So I think this is the right course of action at this time.
Okay. I realized previously I was talking to myself muted. Are there any other board members that want to make comments? Sorry. Okay. Seeing none, we'll ask you.
Miss Evans, if I could, I just want to share some updated information. Ms. Karamayas shared information, that was in place back in October. And as of last week, as of this past Monday, so as of the beginning of this week, we are 4.7% fewer students in elementary schools than we were last year. And that amounts to K through 5, 3,408 students. So we're actually 4,900 fewer pre-K through 12 students, and 3,408 of those students are K through 5. And we'll be sending you these updated numbers. We're creating a chart right now to send to the board next Wednesday in the transmittal. But it could be that the boundary study that's completed and the information that's shared this spring will be exactly what you adopt next November. But we ought to at least pause in the fall and look at those numbers when school begins again and just make sure we don't need to make some adjustments across the multiple elementary schools and the middle schools that will be affected by this. That's really the only issue, is the final action being taken after we look at what school looks like next September 1st.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. All right, Ms. Silvestre.
So just so that I'm clear, given the data you just shared, Dr. Smith, then why wouldn't we pause all boundary studies until we figure out what enrollment is like post-pandemic?
Well, I think we are actually. When you look at what's on the table right now, all of them would be decided potentially with final action next fall, even though the work at Gaithersburg will continue through this year. The work at Somerset and associated schools will continue through this year, but the final action would be paused until we see all of that. So it's very iterative work that we do it. We take another look, we do it. We're going to have exactly the same recommendation for an approach on the operating budget as we're doing right here, that we're going to have to work from what we know today, but then constantly keep an eye on the evolving situation and right up to the point when final decisions must absolutely be made so that the school can be populated, the budget can be passed, all those sorts of things.
Okay. All right. Ms. Karamayas, you may continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Bring up the presentation, please. Okay, so the last item is the recommendations for the FY 2022 capital budget and amendments to the FY 21 to 26 capital improvements program. Next slide, please. So the recommended amendments, the amended CIP totals $1.73 billion for the 6-year period. It is an increase of $3.67 million more than the adopted CIP. The additional expenditures are minimal. Again, it's only $3.7 million more. However, the amendments provide funding for new capital projects, acceleration of previously approved projects, and additional funding for vital countywide systemic projects. The amendments do include reductions and reallocations of approved expenditures, resulting in a more fiscally responsible amended CIP. Next slide, please. So the first amendments are for Bethesda Elementary School and Westbrook Elementary School. The recommendation is to remove all expenditures, $16 million from the Bethesda Elementary School addition project and reallocate $4.4 million of that $16.7 million to reinstate the Westbrook Elementary School addition project with the completion date of September 2023. This recommendation does coincide with the recommendation to conduct the boundary study among Bethesda, Somerset, and Westbrook Elementary Schools to address the overutilization at Bethesda and Somerset Elementary Schools. Next slide, please. The next amendment is for Silver Spring International Middle School and Highland View Elementary School. After careful consideration of the scope of the project, the current fiscal challenges, and the substantial budget for the approved project, the recommendation is to reduce the scope and cost of the project of the middle school project to specifically address the location and administration of the physical education program, as well as the overall safety and security of the school community with the construction of the Purple Line. The recommendation is to engage the community in spring 2021 to determine the scope of the project within the established budget for the middle school project. The completion date for the Silver Spring International Middle School Addition project is scheduled for September 2024. And with the reduction in scope and cost of the middle school project, the recommendation is to reallocate $16 million from that middle school project for the construction of the Highland View Elementary School Addition project, with a completion date of September 2025. Next slide, please. Recommendation for Cresthaven and Roscoe Nix Elementary School Addition projects and Joanne Lieblich Elementary School at Broad Acres. Due to the continued growth at Joanne Lieblich Elementary School at Broad Acres, the two addition projects, Cresthaven and Nix Elementary Schools, were approved, but they may not actually be enough with regard to capacity to address the overutilization at Joanne Lieblich. In addition, the cost of the two addition projects is approaching the cost of a new elementary school. Therefore, the recommendation is to remove all the expenditures from Cresthaven and Roscoe Nix Elementary School addition projects and instead reallocate those expenditures for a new grades 3 through 5 elementary school for Joanne Lieblich at Broad Acres with a completion date of September 2025. The recommendation also includes a site selection process for this new elementary school to be conducted in spring 2021. Next slide, please. The next recommendation is for William Tyler Page Elementary School Addition project. In September 2018, the Spanish Immersion program was relocated to Page Elementary School from Rolling Terrace Elementary School. Projections indicate the school will be overutilized by more than 300 students by end of this 6-year period. The adopted CIP does include planning and construction funding for this project with a completion date of September 2025. The recommendation is to accelerate the construction funds for this addition project, which aligns with the completion date that was in the board's request in the 2021 to 2026 CIP, which is September 2023. Next slide, please. Recommended amendments for the major capital projects elementary. The adopted CIP delayed construction funding for 3 of the 4 elementary schools, South Lake, Stonegate, and Woodland Elementary Schools. Planning construction funding is already incorporated in the adopted CIP for all of these elementary school major capital projects. Therefore, the recommendation is to accelerate the construction funds for South Lake and Woodland Elementary Schools to align with the completion dates in the board's requested 2021 to 26 CIP. The recommendation also accelerates Stonegate Elementary School 6 months ahead of the board's request due to the ability to utilize the former Carl Sandburg Learning Center as another holding facility. Therefore, all 3 projects have recommended completion dates of September 2023. Next slide, please. And finally, for our countywide systemic projects, the adopted CIP reduced FY 2022 expenditures for 3 vital countywide systemic projects: heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, our planned life cycle asset replacement project, and roof replacement. Therefore, the recommendation is to include $5 million in FY 2022 for the HVAC project, include $3.185 million in FY 2022 for the PLAR project, and include $1 million in FY 2022 for the roof replacement project. These additional funds in FY 22 align with the board's request as part of the FY 21 to 26 CIP. Next slide. And we have 2 non-capital recommendations. The first one for Rachel Carson and Dufeef Elementary School boundary studies. The boundary study was approved to relieve the overutilization at Rachel Carson. An addition expansion project is approved at Dufeef Elementary School to expand the school and then be able to reassign students from Rachel Carson to Dufeef. Board of Education requested an opening of September 2022, but the council delayed it 1 year to September 2023. The boundary study was approved to begin in spring 2020. However, based on the approved completion date that has now been delayed 1 year, the recommendation is to conduct the boundary study in spring 2022, basically a year later, with Board of Education action in November 2022. And this aligns with the opening date of September 2023. The second one is for Clarksburg Elementary School number 9 boundary study. This is to create the service area for the new elementary school. Again, the Board of Education requested an opening date of September 2022, but the council delayed that 1 year to September 2023. Boundary study was approved to begin in spring 2020. However, again, based on the approved completion date, the recommendation is to conduct the study in spring 2022 with Board of Education action in November 2022. Next slide, please. And that is it for the amendments.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Jeremy Haas. This concludes the presentation. So what I'll do is allow board members just to give a response or ask a question. And I will start with Mr. Asante.
Thank you for the presentation. I guess my one question or my one comment that I was with the 2 elementary schools that were going to get an addition project, but now a new elementary school is being built in its place. I guess just my question with that was like staffing concerns, because then you'd have to staff the brand new elementary school rather than already having a staffing base at the 2 elementary schools. Could you speak to that?
So I think that the issue was that the overutilization at Broad Acres is continuing to increase. And so the additions, and I can let Mr. Adams speak more to that, but the additions were getting much larger to the point of where there was starting to be site challenges and site constraints if we had to continue to add additional classrooms to those proposed additions. So it was more about the facility and the impact to those 2 sites based upon the projected enrollment at Broad Acres Elementary School.
And if I could, Mr. Asante, specifically when you build a new school to relieve overcrowding in an existing school, you do actually have some staffing increases because of the roles that are in all schools that are single roles. For example, the principal. So we will need a new principal at that school and an assistant principal and media specialist and certain roles. But the vast majority of the staffing for the new school will be when we reduce the size of the existing school, and those teachers will move from the existing school to the new school. And so there is some staffing increase, but it's not even close to the equivalent of an entire school staff that would be needed. But you're right, there is opening a new school. There will be, a set of staff that will have to be new to the system to work in that building.
Thank you. That makes sense.
Okay. Ms. Silvestre?
Yeah, I wanted to ask again about Silver Spring International. I believe it's a $16 million reallocation of that project's funding. And that's a lot of money. And so I think the community is concerned that they're losing a lot. And so my question is, I know that the proposal will take care of facilities for the physical education program, which are problematic now. But could you give me an example or two of things that will not be done as a result of this new plan? I just think it's important for the board to be aware of maybe some things that we're not going to be able to take care of, and the school is going to have to move forward with what they have.
Sure, and that's a great question, and I would say one of the largest or the most significant part of this change in scope is essentially removing the addition that we were planning to build on Sligo Creek. The previous scope was essentially building capacity on Sligo Creek to be able to move, sort of shuffle students, in that direction of the facility and open up more room for Silver Spring International Middle School. The other significant part of the scope that we are not going to pursue, a large part of the project was actually digging deeper. So we were going to build a story below the auditorium. So essentially what we're doing now is building on, looking at it from an on-grade perspective and removing that mass excavation piece that was originally planned. So all in all, I think what the largest significant scope reduction here is just the capacity piece. It's that addition that was being planned on the Sligo Creek side of the facility.
And am I correct in that it's a large chunk of money because of the difficulties in the site there?
Yeah, correct. And as we were exploring that scope, I know there was some comments around, what's the interaction with Purple Line, but with Purple Line doing their work, they did hit quite a bit of rock and other, below grade, unforeseen, items on that site that no one knew was there. So our scope and our budgets were reflecting that, and that cost to dig down in that front of the building was a big chunk of that $16 million that's being shifted.
Ms. Evans, do you want me to hold my second question till the end?
Go ahead with it.
Again, I think that you all have done a wonderful job with this plan. And the one thing I mentioned at their last meeting was the feasibility of County Council approving the spending affordability aspect of this. And so I just want our community to know that we're going forward with this plan, but that's still yet to be determined whether County Council will deem this that they can pay for it at this time. So I just wanted you to maybe speak on that if you can.
That's an excellent point, Ms. Silvestre, and one that all of us need to keep in mind all of the time. Ms. McGuire, could you just lay out what's going to happen in February in the technical terms of how the County Council will look at this request and how it will go exactly as Ms. Silvestre has described in their decisions about to fund or not to fund what we've requested here?
Certainly. So, and as both of you are indicating, it is important to remember that this is the first step in what is really a very long process. And so, certainly, following the board's action next week, these are the capital budget recommendation is transmitted to the executive and the county council. The executive makes the first recommendation in January, and then the county council will take up the requests, not only of the school system, but of all of the agencies. Now, it is an amendment year, which means that on the one hand, there would be fewer projects coming forward for consideration. Nonetheless, we certainly have heard concerns expressed by our colleagues in the executive branch and also in the county council regarding the revenue pictures. And certainly one thing that the council will be doing is receiving adjusted revenue forecasts, which they do every year, and revisiting the terms of spending affordability in February. As it is, again, an amendment year, they will be looking at that affordability context again before they make final decisions on both the capital and operating budgets, and they'll be doing that in February. So that it would be, again, there are a number of markers coming up in terms of affordability and in terms of the revenue pictures at the council. Final decisions by the county council on spending for all of the agencies are not final until the end of May. So again, there is a lot of process between here and there. We know that certainly there's a lot of volatility right now and just uncertainty in sort of the revenue pictures. And so we will clearly stay in very close contact with our colleagues in the county government and with the board in terms of how those revenue impacts are playing out as we go forward. So those are, again, many of the next steps.
Thank you. Mrs. Mondrowski?
Yeah, thank you. Ms. Silvestri just addressed both my concerns or questions. So thank you very much for the presentation. You all have a good night.
Okay, thank you. We will go to Vice President Wolf now.
I don't have any questions. I just want to thank you for the presentation. I think most of my comments have been heard before because nothing presented here today was really new. So thank you.
Okay, Ms. Dixon.
So Essie and Seth and Adrian, I want to thank you as well for your work on all of this. I know, Essie, you've been here for the entire time of my 4-year term, and I have always been impressed and influenced by the work that you do. And certainly Seth and Adrian, I think you came to your positions mid-term, the 2 years after. And you have done nothing but impress me as well and influence me, and I've learned from you. And you are one of the reasons all three of you were listed as drum majors for education in my leaving out booklet. And you should just be very proud of yourselves and what you do for our students. So thank you very, very much. And as Ms. Wolf said, it's just been very methodical, and we've had the benefit of explanations of why the decisions that we're going to make and ratify have been made. And so thank you very much for your work.
Thank you.
Dr. Daka?
Yeah, I want to thank you also for your presentation and for all the work that you've done. And I'm really very happy about Gaithersburg number 8 because the schools there have been so crowded and it's been difficult. I'm sorry about the purple line. I know that it has delayed some things that we need to do, but I'm very happy that you have planned for another physical education facility. I remember how far it is for the kids to get there, so I'm sure they'll be appreciative. Excuse me.
Sure. Mrs. O'Neill?
Well, I too want to lend my thanks. Most of my comments and questions have been asked at previous sessions, but given that this is an amendment year and not the full blown CIP, I think this is a very cautious and reasonable approach. I think, what did you say, 3.7 million? Is that what we've asked above previous requests? So, recognizing the circumstances, and I appreciate the efforts to sort of reallocate money to make sure that projects are done. I think the big challenge will be next year in the full CIP, but I am supportive of this request. I think it's prudent.
All right. So we have come to the end of the presentation, and we are our work session has concluded. It's been said. Thank you for all the work on our CIP, and I appreciate my colleagues bringing forward comments and their feedback to Ms. McGuire, Ms. Karen Mijas, and Mr. Adams. And so, Dr. Smith, if you didn't have anything else to add, I will just say that this would be the end of our work session, and that we will. And I see that there are no alternatives being offered, right? Okay, so then there will not be a hearing on November the 17th, and we'll come back on November the 19th at 5:30 to give our final recommendations. Dr. Smith, did you want to make comments?
I want to thank the staff and the board both. I think this is a model of how boards and staff should work together through very complex and oftentimes difficult things, but I really appreciate how everyone's handled this. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So we will see everyone back here on November the 19th. Thank you and have a great afternoon. Okay, bye.